Top 10 fragrances that I would immediately repurchase if I had to start my collection from scratch. So here's the thing, I have over 3,000 bottles in my collection, and of course I know that's quite a daunting number. When I stop and think about it, I tell myself, if I had to start from scratch, if I got rid of everything I own and I could have only 10, which 10 would I have? So of course I had to prioritize versatility, functionality, nostalgia. I had to prioritize a lot of things and kind of take a more cerebral approach as opposed to a more emotional approach. Although I would say for a lot of these selections, there was a bit of an emotional tendency embedded within the selection as well. But nevertheless, I'm going to be sharing this list with you very soon, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's video and I tell you about the 10 fragrances that I would immediately repurchase if I had to get rid of every fragrance in my collection and start from scratch, these are the first 10 that came to mind and 10 that, in my opinion, I feel as though I absolutely need. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So jumping right into this video, these fragrances, we have a nice balance of designer and niche, right? So they're not all niche, they're not all designer. A lot of these, I took a very cerebral approach, right? I had to be very intelligent about it and say, okay, I need something that is going to work well in the way of versatility, despite the seasons, despite the occasions. But of course, we do have some season-specific offerings on here as well. And a lot of these were emotional impulses. So I said, you know what? I really do miss this one, or I really love this smell, even though I don't see myself wearing it enough. I just want to have it for nostalgia's sake. That was certainly the case with the first one, Angel for Men by Thierry Mugler. Now, this is a fragrance that I've had in my collection for many, many years. I didn't get it right in the mid-90s when it came out, but I got it in the early 2000s, if I'm remembering correctly. This is a beautiful fragrance, sweet, caramel, patchouli, ethyl maltol. And of course, I've gone through so many bottles of this. I had the refillable version, the all silver version. I had the one that had no case on it at all. It was just the inner bottle, whatever. So this is a beautiful fragrance. It's hard to recommend. I don't recommend it to people. I think this is the type of fragrance where if you like gourmands, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna try it for yourself. But Angel for Men is, for me, such a great nostalgia-inducing fragrance. Town and Country by Clive Christian. Ambergris, woods. This is a very clean, elegant, professional smelling fragrance from the brand. And every time I smell it, I also kind of get like this resinous quality about it. It almost reminds me of mastic oil or lentisque. I don't think that's listed in the note breakdown, but then for the professionalism alone, this is one of the first fragrances that came to mind. And of course, in place of this one, you can wear Supersonic or Supernova by Aaron Terrence Hughes. Those fragrances give off a very similar vibe, but I really love this one. Now, once again, nostalgia wins. This was an emotional impulse. Le Mans by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Beautiful fragrance, of course, composed by Francis Kirkjohn, came out in the mid-90s. And of course, it has a lot of lavender and mint and vanilla. And it just brings me back. You know, it brings me back to a simpler time. I'm not going to say a better time, but a simpler time. And this is such a beautiful, just night out, you know, fun, expressive type of a DNA. Not very professional, not too casual either. Right in the middle, but the nostalgia alone did warrant a repurchase for me in this hypothetical scenario if I got rid of everything I own. All right, Creed Aventus. You knew it was going to end up on this list, right? So Creed Aventus, the functionality, the complement factor, the versatility, dress it up, dress it down, cold weather, hot weather. It's a beautiful fragrance. Pineapple, apple, blackcurrant, birch tar, vanilla, some florals, some woods. Aventus is the king, right? And the complement factor alone, I think, would encourage somebody to purchase this one. Aventus is phenomenal. So here's the thing. Another designer, so like I said, it's a nice balance. Bleu de Chanel, but I'm going with the Parfum version for the longevity alone. So this one is gonna give you a few hours over the eau de toilette and also a few hours over the eau de parfum as well. Of course, everybody's skin chemistry is different. This has a lot of grapefruit, there's incense, there's this beautiful woodsy dried down. It just smells very professional, also a huge compliment getter. And you know, some people might argue, well, with the eau de toilette, you wear it in the hot weather, the parfum, you wear it in the cold weather. I don't think so. I think you wear it any time of the year. The only difference is really going to be in the couple hours of longevity and also the diffusiveness, right? The eau de toilette is very diffusive, the parfum, not as diffusive, but you will get better longevity out of it. And then of course, for the summertime, we have two offerings. We have Oceania by Roja Parfum and Mephisto Gentiluomo by Casa Moratti. Both of these are niche offerings. Both of them are very expensive. Oceania, clean, white florals, bright, sparkling citrus, smooth woods, clean musks. Mephisto Gentiluomo also takes a floral approach. You have the violet, you have the iris, a lot of citrus as well. Bergamot in the opening. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So I think this one caters more to a professional scenario. And I think Oceania is also quite professional, but it's this very smooth, tranquil fragrance. So again, this one, even with the bow tie, I think kind of puts you in the mindset of a professional scenario. So that's a good mnemonic device if you want to remember the bow tie. That's for dressed up situations. But nevertheless, all of these are amazing. And then of course in the top three, now I know I might get some flack for this one, although I see the responses as of late have been a bit mixed. Some people say they love this one. Some people are like, I don't get the hype. There's never been any hype on this one, at least not this one. It's either people tried it initially and they just didn't like it, and then some people came around to it. The moment I tried it, I really enjoyed it. This one by Edition de Parfum Frederic Malle is called Uncut Gem, a beautiful composition by Maurice Roussel. So here's the thing, a lot of people compared it to Sauvage by Christian Dior. For me personally, it has a lot of that Angelica, which is a floral ingredient, and it has this very characteristic aroma that as soon as you smell it, you're like, oh, that's Uncut Gem. As a matter of fact, this morning I came down here to my studio and I was preparing to record videos and I saw a decant. And I said, what is in here? Because it was unlabeled. I screwed off the cap, I smelled it, I said, oh yeah, that's Uncut Gem. And I actually enjoyed this one so much, I bought Dua's version, which is called Enigmatic Gem. And I was like, you know, just in case this runs out, because I did wear about 55% of it, I said, I want to make sure that I have some kind of a backup. It's a beautiful fragrance. I would definitely repurchase that one. Mind Games Blockade. This is Creed Aventus with mango. At least that seems to be the narrative. It's a beautiful fragrance. You can find this one at So Avant-Garde. I'll drop all the links down below. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not making commission on this product. Don't worry about it. Even though some of you do want to support me, and I appreciate that. It goes a long way, but I know how some of you feel about that. This is a beautiful mango-based fragrance. You have the sparkling citrus in the opening. The mango is just so juicy, so tart. So it's not as serious as something like Creed Aventus. It's actually a bit more playful. It's a bit more relaxed, I would say. It's not as serious CEO vibes, we have to close the deal. This one is a bit more fun. And in the #1 spot, I know I'm gonna get a lot of gentlemen who will agree with me, perhaps even some ladies if you've smelled this on your man or your significant other. This is such a beautiful fragrance. Of course, we're taking it back to the 80s. It's a classic in many ways, CEO vibes, professional vibes, even old money vibes. This one, you can dress it up or dress it down. It came out in 1985. It has a lot of lemon verbena, citrus, Florentine iris. It is so classy. And by Creed, it is none other than Green Irish Tweed. So let me know, what are 10 fragrances that you would immediately repurchase? Or you don't have to list 10. I know that might be a little too much. Drop 1 or 2 in the comments down below. What are some fragrances that you would immediately repurchase if hypothetically you had to start your collection again from scratch? I would love to hear from you. Let me know, drop your comment. And if you took anything of value from today's episode, of course, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. Thanks again so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.